This guy's name is Ji-wook. He is the captain of the anti-terrorism secret service of the Korean army. He has now been discharged from the army to return to his hometown. However, because he is so talented, the organization recruited Ji-wook directly to solve cases at the Seoul Criminal Investigation Department. His body has many scars. Perhaps Ji-wook has experienced many fierce battles. He is known as a super fighting machine with outstanding skills. He is not afraid to confront any enemy. Ji-wook has many times dealt with gangsters, making them terrified. He has many times destroyed gangster gangs in Seoul. Upon receiving this news, the boss Hyo-gon, the gang leader, returned from the Golden Triangle to rule Seoul. At the introduction party, Hyo-gon mocked Ji-wook and threatened to cripple him. Not long after, Ji-wook suddenly appeared at the party. Because this place has strict checks, he cannot bring weapons inside. But Ji-wook was still determined to confront the enemy with his bare hands. When he entered, he was lucky to meet a girl in a red dress. Her name was Jong-mi, and she was a singer at this bar. Jong-mi warned Ji-wook that they were numerous and strong, so he should be careful. As soon as she finished speaking, Ji-wook immediately opened the door and walked in. Hyo-gon asked if he knew who he was. Ji-wook didn't bother to answer him, but took out his gun and pointed it at the leader. Seeing that, his subordinates quickly shielded Hyo-gon. He pushed his subordinates away. Hyo-gon was not afraid at all and stood up to challenge Ji-wook. He declared that he was not afraid of Ji-wook because Hyo-gon's subordinates were all experts, so they would teach Ji-wook a lesson. After speaking, he sat down and laughed contemptuously. Hyo-gon also picked up the mic and challenged Ji-wook to shoot. Seeing that, he immediately put down his weapon. Everyone thought Ji-wook was going to surrender, but unexpectedly, witnessing that scene made Hyo-gon extremely scared and did not dare to say another word. Ji-wook held the mic towards him, but he still said loudly that he would never lose to Ji-wook. Immediately after, Ji-wook's teammates rushed in to arrest these gangsters and bring them to justice. Although he had made a great contribution, Ji-wook was not praised but was scolded by the director. He loudly blamed Ji-wook that he was only allowed to arrest criminals, not to beat criminals to such a serious extent. The leader thought that Ji-wook was a policeman but acted like a thug. Seeing that, his colleague named Jin-woo, who was eating noodles next to him, also quickly spoke up. Jin-woo told the leader that being kind to the enemy was cruel to himself. He angrily ordered the two of them to immediately arrest the pervert who harmed the girls. The leader would not accept Ji-wook's resignation letter. People did not understand why a good policeman like Ji-wook wanted to quit his job. When receiving a new case, Jin-woo and Ji-wook immediately set off. But Ji-wook did not know that after he beat Hyo-gon to the point of hospitalization, his younger brother, named Lee Seo, came looking for him. This guy is also a famous mafia boss. Seeing his brother beaten to this extent made Lee Seo very angry. He swore that he would definitely avenge Hyo-gon. After saying that, Lee Seo and his subordinates immediately set off. At this time, Lee Seo received another piece of bad news. All the pop company's assets were confiscated by the police, and even 1,000 bonds were lost. Lee Seo angrily threw away all the papers. He said that he did not regret the company's assets, but 1,000 bonds were different. It would be a huge amount of money that they would never run out of. The subordinate asked how many people he needed to gather to destroy Ji-wook. Lee Seo replied that he would have to send a lot of people because he had witnessed Ji-wook eliminating an entire gang very easily. Lee Seo admitted that he really liked Ji-wook's masculine beauty, but he didn't expect that the two would become enemies. In another development, Ji-wook went to a bar and asked Jong-mi to help him investigate a case. He wanted her to be the bait to catch a pervert at the mall. Jong-mi had liked Ji-wook for a long time, so she did almost everything he said. This time, the criminal specialized in following girls wearing tight clothes. Then he would find a deserted place and kill the other person. Ji-wook told Jang-mi to rest assured because he would be behind to protect her. Jang-mi just needed to follow the plan. Hearing such confident affirmations, she felt reassured and immediately went to the mall to lure the pervert out. At this time, Ji-wook felt extremely uncomfortable, so he couldn't follow her. He went to a plastic surgery center. It turned out that Ji-wook looked like a man on the outside, but was actually a woman on the inside. He had to come here regularly to get hormone injections to stimulate the growth of his female cells. The doctor said that he had injected many doses, the drug had no effect on Ji-wook. Did he do heavy labor every day, or why were his muscles so big? The doctor asked Ji-wook not to go to the gym, fight, or smoke. If he wanted to become a girl, he would have to spend a huge amount of money to go to Thailand for surgery. Immediately after that, the doctor introduced Ji-wook to a transgender specialist. At first glance, she knew that he had been in the military, so she said that she had also studied there. After listening, Ji-wook immediately greeted his senior like a soldier. Ji-wook confided that after discovering his true gender, he was completely devastated and disappointed. However, in order to complete his mission, Ji-wook had kept it a secret. All this time, she understood that he wanted to have surgery to live as his true gender. So the woman took Ji-wook to a transgender club. After drinking some wine, she said that he had 3 choices. The first case was like the girl in front of him. She only had surgery on the top but not the bottom. The second case was to only fix the bottom but not top. Ji-wook looked at the woman next to him, a little panicked. The woman next to him also asked him if he was attractive enough to men, and asked him to go on a date with her tomorrow. Ji-wook was stunned and didn't know how to answer. He reacted and accidentally slapped her in the face. Seeing that Ji-wook was a little uncomfortable, the woman called a really beautiful dancer and said that this was the third case, which was surgery on both the top and bottom. Faced with this perfect cuteness, Ji-wook told himself that he would be determined to live true to himself. That night, he tossed and turned, unable to sleep. Ji-wook even started trying on women's clothes. After a while of makeup, Ji-wook had completely transformed into a lady. He planned to go out for a while, but unexpectedly, when Ji-wook entered the elevator, a girl looked at him with strange eyes. Seeing everyone's attention focused on the little girl, he thought he had escaped, but at this moment, Jin-woo suddenly called. As soon as Ji-wook spoke, everyone looked at him because they knew he was a man. He was extremely embarrassed, then quickly got in the car and called Jin-woo back. It turned out that they had caught pervert, but Jang-mi was injured. Ji-wook immediately drove to the police station, where he heard Jin-woo say that the girl refused to treat her injuries and waited for him to come. Seeing Jang-mi in pain, Ji-wook blamed himself for not being behind to protect her as promised. Suddenly, she saw Ji-wook's eyes glittering. Ji-wook was embarrassed and could only stand up to apologize and leave. Too angry, he went to find the pervert. He saw his teammates interrogating him for a long time, but he refused to confess. The pervert even demanded that he would confess when the lawyer arrived tomorrow. Seeing that this guy was too arrogant, Ji-wook took his helmet and hit him straight on the head. After the last hit, the crazy guy was more obedient. He confessed all his crimes without missing a single detail. After finishing, Ji-wook drove back, his mind now filled with thoughts. Ji-wook didn't know whether he should live as his true self or continue to be a police officer to protect justice for the people. While he was thinking, Ji-wook suddenly lost control and crashed into the curb, causing the car to spin and flip over. After waking up, Ji-wook found himself in the hospital and Jin-woo was by his side. Luckily, he was not seriously injured and was discharged early. Jin-woo said that he had been injecting drugs for a long time and that his arm had so many bruises. That made Jin-woo very disappointed, but he would keep this secret for Ji-wook. It turned out that Ji-wook's arm had been injected with too many hormones, which made his colleagues misunderstand. He was surprised and said that things were not as Jin-woo thought. However, he could not tell the truth at this time, so he had to let it go. At the same time, at Ji-wook's house, Lee-so led his subordinates to the house and rummaged through everything to find the bonds. They searched for a long time, but found nothing but some women's clothes. The subordinate said that Ji-wook must have brought a girl home and that it could be a singer working at a bar named Jang-mi. At this time, Lee-so immediately thought of a plan. He told his subordinates to clean up all this mess neatly, then sent them away first so he could stay and negotiate with Ji-wook. Ji-wook returned home and found him inside. He opened the door and invited Ji-wook inside. Lee-so said that he heard that Ji-wook was about to quit his job and that Ji-wook had many enemies. They were just waiting for Ji-wook to leave the police station to kill him, so even if he was lucky enough to survive, it would be difficult for him to make a living. Lee-so said that he would protect his life and send a large sum of money to Ji-wook. Ji-wook replied that if he wanted anything from him, he should say it. Lee-so admitted that he just wanted him to return the bonds that the police had confiscated the day before. To others, they were worthless, but to Lee-so, they would be a fortune. After listening, Ji-wook said that if Lee-so didn't leave his house, he would make Lee-so stay in the hospital with Hyo-gon. Knowing that Ji-wook was not easy to negotiate with, he quickly left. However, after this offer, Ji-wook thought a lot that night. The next day, he went to the police station and saw the pile of bonds that Lee-so asked him to steal. However, Ji-wook did not steal them, but only took pictures of them. A moment later, prosecutor Min-ho, who was in charge of this case, called everyone to the hospital to meet the boss, Hyo-gon, to take a statement. Looking at Hyo-gon's face full of wounds, it was enough to understand how much he hated Ji-wook. When everyone left, the prosecutor smiled sinisterly and said directly that they had evidence that he sent his subordinates to kill people. This crime was enough to put Haeogon in prison for a long time. If he confessed that Lee So was also an accomplice, the sentence would be divided equally. Minho would be on the front page for completely destroying the gang, which gave Haeogon a glimmer of hope. Prosecutor Minho immediately instructed the director to approve Ji-wook's resignation because he did not want Ji-wook to be involved in this case. Everyone was extremely surprised by this decision, but Ji-wook was not surprised because he also wanted to quit his job to go to Thailand for surgery. After the farewell party to Ji-wook, he returned home and saw Jong-mi just came here in the rain and was waiting for him outside the door. Ji-wook said that he had quit his job and would leave this place, so she should take care of her health. Jong-mi stood up and asked if Ji-wook did not want to keep his promise to his brother. Ji-wook looked into Jong-mi's eyes and suddenly memories flooded back. It turned out that she was the younger sister of his childhood best friend. Before the accident and his death, he asked Ji-wook to take care of and protect his sister, but after his brother's death, Jong-mi had to follow her parents to another place, so the two no longer saw each other. Unexpectedly, she always liked and waited for Ji-wook. It's just a pity that he's not a man, so he can't accept that feeling. Instead of an apology, Ji-wook kissed Jong-mi on the lips. Then he took her home without saying a word to each other. Before going to Thailand to change gender, Ji-wook wanted to put Lee So in jail, so he immediately thought of a plan. While he was drinking with his subordinates, Ji-wook appeared. Ji-wook gave him a picture of the bond and said that after receiving the money, he would give it to Lee So. Lee So believed it. He said that he didn't lack money, and after finishing the job, he would give Ji-wook more money. Knowing that Lee So was a mafia boss and would never play tricks to lose his reputation, Ji-wook immediately left. On the way back, Lee So questioned his subordinates. Ji-wook was very cool, but for some reason he suddenly accepted a bribe. Lee So felt that something was very shady. At this moment, Haeogon called Lee So to the hospital. When he arrived, Haeogon said that he wanted him to go to jail with him. Lee So looked at him with a puzzled look after hearing that. Lee So affirmed that he did not agree with Haeogon and then left. Haeogon thought that if he did not plead guilty, it would be fine. However, the lawyer said that if Haeogon confessed, Lee So would not escape the sentence of masterminding the murder. Hong Tae's subordinate said that Ji-wook had not yet given the bond to the leader, so it was definitely a trap. Lee So had transferred money to bribe officials as evidence to be arrested at any time. He angrily scolded Hong Tae, saying that he was so smart but he was an idiot. Lee So slapped Hong Tae in the face for not telling him about it sooner. Then he ordered his subordinates to deal with Ji-wook immediately. At the same time, prosecutor Min-ho went down to the basement to get his car, and he discovered that Hong Tae had led a group of subordinates to surround the place. When the police arrived, it was too late. The director thought that Haeogon was the one who did it, so he was extremely angry. Despite Haeogon's explanation that he was not the one who caused it, he beat Haeogon up and locked him in a special detention center. Seeing that the situation was not good, the director ordered Jin Woo to find Ji-wook to arrest the criminals, because only he could deal with these criminals. Not only the police, but Lee So's gang is also looking for Ji-wook. They go to the surgery facility to force the doctor to reveal his information. Hong Tae uses a grinder to brutally torture him, causing blood to splatter. Too scared, he confessed that Ji-wook wants to change gender. Knowing this important news, Hong Tae immediately informs Lee So, making him extremely disappointed because he used to admire Ji-wook's masculine beauty. In another development, Jin Woo cannot find Ji-wook, so he goes to a female doctor. He says that Ji-wook used to come here but is now missing. Seeing that Jin Woo is a police officer, she tells him everything. Ji-wook wants to change gender to live true to himself. Hearing this news makes Jin Woo extremely sad. At this time, Ji-wook makes an appointment with him to meet a place. Ji-wook shows evidence that Lee So transferred money to bribe him, and Ji-wook did not touch that money. He hoped Jin Woo could arrest him for investigation. Ji-wook also apologized for letting him see him like this. Jin Woo felt a pang in his heart when he heard that, but he had to leave. He went to Jang-mi's bar. Jin Woo drank a lot until he was drunk. Then he called Ji-wook to encourage him that Ji-wook looked very beautiful, and this life only lives once, this, so Ji-wook should do what he likes. While saying that, Jin-woo cried as he was about to leave his brother. Then Jong-mi had to take him home, because he was very drunk, but she forgot her car keys, so she had to go inside to get them. While Jin-woo was standing alone, Lee Seo's subordinates secretly rushed over with knives and attacked him. They wanted to kill everyone around Ji-wook to take revenge. Jin-woo died a very tragic death. When Jong-mi returned, she saw that he had passed away. She was also taken away by them right after that. At the airport, Ji-wook disguised himself as a girl preparing to go to Thailand. The ticket inspector was stunned when he saw his appearance. He realized that Ji-wook was a man, so he said that he admired strong people who dared to live for themselves like him. This comforted Ji-wook somewhat. While waiting for the plane, he saw on TV the news that police officer Jin-woo was stabbed 12 times by gangsters in front of a bar. Hearing this, Ji-wook was extremely shocked and could not believe his eyes. At this moment, Lee Seo called Ji-wook to say that he had killed Jin-woo and was now planning to do the same to Jong-mi. If Ji-wook loved her, he should come and save her. Lee Seo hung up to see Ji-wook's attitude. He told Jong-mi that in times of trouble, you will know who your friends are. After saying that, Lee Seo ordered his subordinates to inject her with sleeping pills and lock her in the car. Then they poured gasoline around to prepare to set fire. Receiving the news that his best friend's sister was on the verge of death because of him, Ji-wook had to give up the surgery to go back and rescue her. When he got there, he told the driver to wait for him a moment. Then he went inside. The two guards had been waiting for Ji-wook here for a long time. They checked to see if he had any weapons on him. Ji-wook suddenly pulled out a knife and dealt with those two. Seeing that, Hong-tae immediately sent 4 more subordinates to block him. Ji-wook asked if they stabbed Jin-woo last night. Right. Hearing that, they laughed loudly. One of them even said that he had never killed a policeman so easily. Ji-wook got angry and used his hand to hook one of them's throats. Then he grabbed their knives and attacked them brutally. In a short time, Ji-wook had destroyed those subordinates. He continued to go deeper inside. Lee Seo sent a red-haired man to meet Ji-wook. He mocked him that he couldn't do anything to a woman. After saying that, the two of them rushed into battle. This man's martial arts were no less than Ji-wook's, so they were evenly matched. He attacked him with his bare hands. Seeing that, Ji-wook also decided to fight him with his bare hands. Ji-wook kicked him far behind. Ji-wook quickly jumped on the table and broke the man's neck. After finishing the red-haired man, Ji-wook took a knife and went to meet Lee Seo. He asked if Ji-wook had killed all of his subordinates outside. Ji-wook asked Lee Seo where Jong-mi was. He said he would tell him after seeing Ji-wook's attitude. Ji-wook put down the knife and knelt in front of Lee Seo, begging Lee Seo to let her go. However, this made Lee Seo extremely disappointed. He didn't expect Ji-wook to be so weak just because of a girl. When it comes to gender issues, Ji-wook can't control himself. He picks up a knife and stabs Lee Seo in the neck. Seeing that, his subordinates immediately rushed to attack Ji-wook. Ji-wook was too injured to resist anymore. Ji-wook was stabbed once and collapsed. At this time, Hong-tae ordered his subordinates to retreat and spare Ji-wook's life. At the same time, he told his subordinate to release Jong-mi. Hong-tae informed Hyo-gon that everything went according to plan. It turned out that Hyo-gon saw that Lee Seo couldn't be trusted, so he ordered Hong-tae to arrange everything for Lee Seo to die. Lee Seo respected Ji-wook so much that he spared him and his girlfriend. After putting Jong-mi in a taxi, Ji-wook looked at his high heels and pile of clothes and felt sad. After a while, he decided to give up on the sex change. Ji-wook decided to stay to protect Jong-mi and the innocent people. He told Jang-mi the truth. She also fell in love with someone new and was about to get married. Ji-wook blessed the two of them but couldn't smile after what had happened. The movie ends here. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and see you again.